Hello, everyone. Welcome to English in Advance. My name is Jessica, and I am your host for today. Whether you are walking, driving, or just relaxing at home, I am thrilled that you've chosen to spend this time with me, improving your English skills. Today, we are diving into a topic that is absolutely essential for anyone learning English. It's a skill that opens doors, builds connections, and helps you feel truly confident in any situation. We are talking about small talk. I know. For many people, the word small talk can bring up feelings of anxiety or awkwardness. What do I say? What if there's a long, silent pause? How do I start a conversation with a stranger? If you've ever asked yourself these questions, then you are in the perfect place. Over the course of our time together today, we are going to completely transform the way you think about small talk. We will turn it from something you fear into something you can actually enjoy. Our goal is to explore 100 common and incredibly useful sentences for everyday English small talk. But we are not just going to list them. That wouldn't be very helpful, would it? Instead, we are going to do a deep dive. We will explore the context behind these sentences, when to use them, who to use them with, and what they really mean. We will look at the nuances of pronunciation and intonation, so you sound natural and friendly. And most importantly, we will practice. I will give you plenty of examples and scenarios so you can hear these phrases in action and feel ready to use them yourself. This is going to be a very detailed, immersive experience, almost like a personal workshop, so find a comfortable spot, take a deep breath, and let's begin our journey to mastering the art of natural, effortless conversation. Before we jump into our first sentence, let's take a moment to really understand what small talk is and what it isn't. Small talk is not about having a deep, philosophical discussion about the meaning of life with the person next to you in the grocery line. It's not about sharing your life story with a colleague you just met in the elevator. Small talk is the gentle, polite conversation that acts as a social lubricant. It's the bridge we build between silence and a more meaningful connection. Think of it as a warm-up exercise for conversation. It's how we show others that we are friendly, open, and approachable. In many English-speaking cultures, jumping directly into a big topic or asking a very direct question without any small talk can be seen as rude or abrupt. Small talk is the culturally appropriate way to ease into an interaction. It's a way of testing the waters, of showing respect for the other person's space and time before getting to the main point. Whether that's asking for help, discussing a work project, or simply getting to know them better. It's the glue that holds our daily interactions together, making them smoother and more pleasant. So as we go through these sentences, remember that the goal isn't just to say the words, but to send a message of friendliness and openness. It's about making a small, positive connection with the people around you. Let's begin with the absolute foundation of any conversation, the greetings and initial questions. These are the phrases you will use more than any others. The first and most common one is, of course, "How are you?" But let's break this down. In English, this is often a phatic question, which means it's more of a greeting than a genuine inquiry into someone's detailed health and well-being. When a cashier at a store asks, "How are you?" they are expecting a short, positive response. The standard answers are, "I'm good, thanks. How are you?" Or, "Fine, thanks. And you?" It is very important to return the question. It shows politeness. So let's practice the flow. I'll be person A, you be person B. I say, "Hi, how are you?" You respond, "I'm good, thanks. How are you?" Let's try it. "Hi, how are you?" Good. It feels simple, but this smooth, automatic exchange is the start of so many interactions. Now let's explore some more casual variations. You'll often hear native speakers say, "How's it going?" This means exactly the same thing as, "How are you?" But it's a bit more informal and relaxed. You might use this with colleagues you know well, friends, or people your own age. The response is also similar. You can say, "It's going well, thanks. How about you?" Or more simply, "Good, you?" Notice the intonation. On "How's it going?" the voice usually goes down at the end. It's a question, but it's a statement-like question. Listen again. "How's it going?" Practice saying that. Feel how it flows together. "How's it going?" The S from how's and the I from it blend together. "How's it going?" Another very common, very casual greeting is, "What's up?" This is very informal. You would probably use this with friends or close colleagues. The interesting thing about "what's up" is the variety of possible answers. The most common and simple response is, "Not much, you?" or "Nothing much." What's up with you? It's a way of saying that things are normal and everything is okay. Sometimes people will even answer, "What's up?" with "What's up?" It's like a call and response. One person says, "Hey, what's up?" and the other person smiles and replies, "Hey, what's up?" It's a very casual acknowledgement. You generally wouldn't use "What's up?" with your new boss or a much older person in a formal setting. Let's move on to a slightly more specific type of opener. When you see someone you know but maybe haven't seen for a little while, you can ask, "How have you been?" The use of the present perfect tense here, "have been," implies a period of time. You're not just asking about this very moment. You're asking about the last few days or weeks or however long it's been since you last saw them. This question invites a slightly longer answer than, "How are you?" A good response might be, "I've been good. Pretty busy with work, but can't complain. How have you been?" This gives a little bit of information and, crucially, returns the question. Let's imagine you run into an old classmate at a cafe. You could say, "Oh, wow, Sarah, it's been a while. How have you been?" It's a warm and friendly way to reopen a connection. Now, what if you want to comment on the day itself? A beautifully simple and always appropriate sentence is, "Having a busy day." This is a great one for the office, or when you see someone who looks like they're in a hurry. It shows empathy. You're acknowledging their situation. They might reply, "Oh, you know it. It's been nonstop. How about you?" Or they might say, "Not too bad, actually. It's finally slowing down." It's a safe, relatable question because almost everyone has busy days. Let's practice the intonation. It's a yes/no question, so the tone of your voice should rise at the end. Listen, having a busy day. Try it. Excellent. A similar question, perfect for a Monday, is, "How was your weekend?" This is a classic for a reason. It's friendly, it's personal without being too intrusive, and it gives the other person a chance to share something positive about their life outside of work or school. When someone asks you this, you should try to give a little more than a one-word answer. Instead of just "good," try something like, "It was great, thanks. I went for a hike on Saturday. How about you? Did you do anything fun? This simple structure, answer, add a detail, and ask back, is the secret to great small talk. Let's practice. I'll ask you the question. Think of one thing you did last weekend, even if it was just relaxing. Ready? Hi there. How was your weekend? Now, did you remember to ask me back? You could say, how about you? Or, and you. This reciprocity is what keeps the conversation alive. Conversely, on a Friday, the perfect small talk sentence is, got any plans for the weekend? Or the slightly more formal version, do you have any plans for the weekend? This is a forward-looking, optimistic question. It shows you're interested in the other person's life. They might share that they're visiting family, or going to see a movie, or just planning to relax. Again, after you answer, remember to ask them back. I'm hoping to catch up on some reading. What about you? Any big plans? This back and forth is like a friendly game of catch. One person throws the ball, the other person catches it and throws it back. Now, let's talk about the weather. It might seem like a cliche, but talking about the weather is an incredibly powerful tool for small talk. Why? Because it's a shared experience. Everyone is experiencing the same weather, so it's instant common ground. It's also completely neutral and safe. You're not going to offend anyone by talking about the rain. A simple opener is beautiful day, isn't it? This is a tag question. You make a statement, beautiful day, and then you add a little question at the end, isn't it? This invites agreement. The other person will almost always say, yes, it's gorgeous. And just like that, you've started a positive interaction. The intonation on the tag question goes down because you are expecting them to agree. Beautiful day, isn't it? If the weather isn't so good, you can use the same technique. Terrible weather we're having, huh? Or, can you believe all this rain? These phrases create a sense of shared hardship, a little bond over the bad weather. Someone might reply, I know. I forgot my umbrella today, of course. And you could say, oh no, same here. I'm hoping it stops soon. See how it builds a small connection from a simple observation? It's not about the weather, really. It's about acknowledging a shared reality. Another useful weather-related phrase is, I hear the weather is supposed to be nice this weekend. This is great because it opens the door to talking about weekend plans. Someone might respond, oh, really? That's great to hear. I was thinking of going to the park. And you can follow up with, that sounds lovely. Which park are you thinking of? You've smoothly transitioned from the weather to their personal plans. Let's move into a new environment. Imagine you are at an event, like a conference, a workshop, or a party. It can be intimidating to start a conversation with a stranger. A great low-pressure opener is to talk about the event itself. You could turn to the person next to you and say, so what did you think of the speaker? This is an excellent question because it's based on a shared experience you just had. It's not too personal, and it asks for their opinion, which makes them feel valued. They might say, I thought she was really interesting, especially the part about marketing. You can then agree or add your own thoughts. Another fantastic question at an event is, how do you know the host? This is perfect for parties or gatherings. It helps you understand your connection to the event and the other person. They might say, oh, I work with Sarah, or I went to college with David. This immediately gives you a follow-up question. If they say they work with the host, you can ask, oh, nice. What do you do there? If they went to college with them, you can ask, Oh, cool. What did you study? It creates a natural path for the conversation to follow. A simple observation can also be a great starter. At a party, you could say, "This is a great party. The music is fantastic." Or at a conference, "Wow, there are a lot of people here today." These are simple, positive observations that invite the other person to agree and add their own thoughts. For example, "Yes, it really is. I love this song." Or, "I know. I was surprised by the turnout." You are simply verbalizing what the other person is likely already thinking, which makes you seem relatable and easy to talk to. Let's practice. Imagine you are at a friend's birthday party. You don't know many people. You see someone standing near the snacks table. You walk over. What could you say? You could try, "Hi, I'm Jessica. I love the decorations, don't you?" Or you could ask, "Hi there. How do you know Michael?" Or a simple comment about the food. "These little sandwiches are amazing. Have you tried one?" Any of these are perfect low-stress ways to begin. The key is to be confident and smile. Your body language says just as much as your words. Now, let's switch gears to the workplace. Office small talk is crucial for building good relationships with your colleagues, which can make your job much more enjoyable and even help your career. We already talked about how was your weekend on Monday and any plans for the weekend on Friday. What about during the week? A great question to ask a colleague is, "How's your day going so far?" It's a simple check-in that shows you care. They might give a short answer, "Pretty good, thanks," or they might share a little bit about what they're working on. If you know they are working on a specific project, you can ask something more targeted, like, "How's that big report coming along?" This shows you're paying attention to what's happening in the office. Be careful not to sound like you're checking up on them. Your tone should be light and supportive. A friendly, "Hey, just curious, how's the new campaign design going?" sounds much better than a demanding, "Are you finished with the campaign design yet?" Another fantastic topic for the office is upcoming holidays or time off. You could say, "Looking forward to the long weekend?" Or, "Got any vacation time coming up?" People love talking about their plans for time off. It's a positive, happy subject. If they say yes, you can ask where they're going or what they're planning to do. It's a wonderful way to connect with your colleagues on a more personal level. Let's not forget about the simple power of a compliment. A genuine compliment can be one of the fastest ways to start a positive conversation. The key word here is genuine. Don't say something you don't mean, but if you truly like something, say it. For example, "I really like your sweater. That color is great on you." The beauty of a compliment like this is that it's about a choice the person made. They chose to wear that sweater, so you are complimenting their taste. The most common response is, "Oh, thank you so much." They might then tell you where they got it, which can lead to a brief conversation about shopping or style. You can also compliment someone's work. For example, "That was a great presentation you gave this morning. I learned a lot." This is incredibly effective because it shows you were paying attention and you valued their effort. They will feel appreciated and will be much more open to talking with you. A comment like this can build a bridge of professional respect and friendship. Another great compliment is one that acknowledges a skill. For example, if a colleague is great with technology, you could say, "You're so good with Excel. I'm always so impressed." This is a fantastic way to open a conversation that could even lead to you asking for help or advice later in a very natural way. Now let's talk about the art of keeping the conversation going. You've successfully started a conversation. You've asked a great opening question. They've answered, "What now?" This is where many people panic. The secret is to use follow-up questions. The best follow-up questions are open-ended questions, the ones that start with who, what, where, when, why, or how. These questions can't be answered with a simple yes or no. They invite the other person to share more information. Let's go back to our weekend example. You ask, "How was your weekend?" They say, "It was good. I went to see a movie." A bad follow-up would be, "Was it a good movie?" They can just say yes, and the conversation might die. A much better follow-up question would be, "Oh, fun. What did you see?" This requires them to give you the name of the movie. Once they tell you, you have even more to talk about. You can say, "Oh, I've heard about that one. I was thinking of seeing it. What did you think of it?" Now you are asking for their opinion and sharing your own interest. Let's practice this skill. Imagine a colleague says, "I'm so tired. I was up late working on a project." What is a good open-ended follow-up question? You could ask, "Oh, really? What project are you working on?" Or, "That sounds tough. How is it all going?" Both of these invite a more detailed response than a closed question like, "Is it for the marketing department?" Another powerful technique for keeping a conversation going is to use encouraging phrases. These are small verbal cues that show you are listening and are interested. Things like, "Oh, really? That's interesting," comma, "uh-huh," "right," and "tell me more." These little phrases are like fuel for the conversation. They signal to the speaker that you are engaged and that they should continue. Let's try it. I'll be your conversation partner. I'll say something, and you respond with one of those encouraging phrases. I'll say, "I went to the most amazing Italian restaurant last night." You say, "Oh, really?" I continue, "Yes, the pasta was handmade and it was delicious." You say, "That's interesting." I continue, "The chef actually came out to talk to us." You say, "Tell me more." See how that works? You haven't had to share anything about yourself yet, but you are actively participating in the conversation and making the other person feel heard. Finding common ground is another key to extending small talk and turning it into a real conversation. As you listen to the other person, try to find something you have in common: hobbies, interests, experiences, anything. For example, if they mention they enjoy hiking and you also enjoy hiking, you have found a connection. You can say, "Oh, I love hiking too. What are some of your favorite trails in the area?" This is a fantastic question. You're validating their hobby and asking for their expertise. People love to share advice about things they are passionate about. What if you don't have the same hobby? You can still find common ground. Let's say they love to ski, but you have never been skiing. You can say, "Wow, that sounds so exciting. I've always wanted to try skiing. Is it difficult to learn?" You are showing interest and curiosity. You've found common ground not in the shared experience, but in the shared interest. Let's talk about entertainment. Movies, TV shows, books, and music are treasure troves for small talk. A simple question like, "Have you seen any good movies lately?" can start a great conversation. Or more specifically, "I just finished watching The Crown on Netflix. Have you seen it?" If they have, you can discuss what you liked or disliked about it. If they haven't, you can tell them a little bit about it and maybe recommend it. It's a light, fun topic with no pressure. The same goes for books. Are you reading anything interesting at the moment? Is a wonderful question. It's a bit more personal than movies or TV, and you can learn a lot about a person from what they enjoy reading. Be prepared to share what you're reading as well. Remember the principle of reciprocity. Now, we need to address a very important skill: how to gracefully end a conversation. This can be the most awkward part for many learners. You've had a nice chat, but now you need to leave. You don't want to be rude or seem like you are running away. The key is to use a polite exit line. An exit line usually has 3 parts: a signal that the conversation is ending, a positive comment about the conversation, and a statement about the future. Here's a classic example. Well, it was really great talking to you. The word well at the beginning signals a transition. The phrase, "It was really great talking to you," is the positive comment. To finish, you can add the future statement, like, "But I should probably get back to work," or, "But I need to go find my friend." Let's put it all together. Well, it was really great talking to you, Sarah, but I should probably get back to work. I'll catch you later. It's polite, clear, and friendly. Another great exit line is, "I don't want to keep you. I'm sure you're busy." This is very polite because it shows you respect the other person's time. You can follow it with, "It was lovely to meet you. Hopefully I'll see you at the next meeting." Let's practice an exit. Imagine we've been chatting in the office kitchen for a few minutes. Now you need to leave. Try saying one of those exit lines to me. Go ahead. Perfect. Something like, "All right, I'd better get going. It was nice chatting with you, Jessica." That works beautifully. It's smooth, friendly, and leaves a positive impression. Let's review and expand on our list of sentences, grouping them by situation so we can really master them. Let's focus again on those initial openers, the conversation starters. We have the basics like, "How's it going?" and "How have you been?" But let's add a few more. What if you're in a specific place, like a coffee shop? You could comment on your shared environment. While waiting for your coffee, you could say to the person next to you, "It smells so good in here, doesn't it?" It's a simple sensory observation. They will likely agree, and you might have a brief chat about your favorite kind of coffee. Or if the line is long, you could say with a lighthearted smile, "Looks like everyone needed coffee this morning, huh?" Again, you're building a tiny bond over a shared immediate experience. Now let's think about community events, like a local fair or a farmer's market. These are perfect places for small talk. You could ask someone looking at some vegetables, "Everything looks so fresh today, doesn't it?" Or if you are watching a local band play, you could turn to someone and say, "They're pretty good, aren't they?" You're inviting them to share in a positive observation. Let's add more sentences for the workplace. Beyond asking about projects, you can talk about the office environment itself. Are they ever going to fix the coffee machine? This kind of light-hearted complaint can build camaraderie, or something positive. "I really like the new plants they added to the reception area." It shows you pay attention to your surroundings and have a positive attitude. Another great one for a Friday afternoon is, "Thank goodness it's Friday." You will almost certainly get a very enthusiastic agreement on that one. It's a universally shared feeling in most workplaces. Let's go back to parties and social gatherings. We talked about, "How do you know the host?" Let's add more. You can ask, So, what brings you here tonight? This is a bit more open-ended. They might be a friend of the host, a colleague, or a plus one. Their answer will give you a lot of information to work with. Another great observation is, this is a beautiful home, isn't it? If you are at someone's house for a party, complimenting their home is always a nice touch. It shows appreciation for their hospitality. If you're struggling to hear someone because of the music, you can say with a smile, "It's a bit loud in here, isn't it? Let's step over here." This shows initiative and problem-solving skills, even on a micro level. Now, let's expand our list of compliments. We complimented clothing and presentations. What else can we compliment? You can compliment someone's laugh. "You have such a great laugh." This is a bit more personal, so use it when you feel a good, friendly vibe. You can compliment a choice they made. "That's a really interesting point. I hadn't thought of it that way." This shows you are not just listening, but you are thinking about what they are saying. It's a compliment to their intelligence. You can also compliment a possession in a way that opens a conversation like, "That's a cool phone case. Where did you get it?" It's a simple, non-threatening way to start a dialogue. Let's build more on the skill of keeping the conversation going. We talked about open-ended questions. Let's add the technique of mirroring. Mirroring is when you repeat the last few words the person said, but as a question. It shows you're listening and encourages them to elaborate. For example, if your friend says, "I was so tired after my spinning class this morning," you could respond, "Spinning class." Your friend will then naturally continue, "Yeah, it's a high-intensity cycling workout. It's really tough, but a lot of fun." It's an incredibly simple but effective technique. Let's try. I'll say something and you mirror the last part. I'll say, "I'm thinking of adopting a puppy." You say, "A puppy?" And then I would continue, "Yes, I've always wanted a golden retriever." It works like magic. Another way to keep the flow is to relate their story to your own, but briefly. This is a technique called reciprocal sharing. For example, if your colleague says, "My flight back from vacation was so delayed. It was a nightmare." You could say, "Oh no, that's the worst. I had a flight delayed for 6 hours once. It's so frustrating. What happened with yours?" You briefly shared your own related experience to show empathy, but you quickly turned the focus back to them with a question. The key is to keep your own story very short. Don't hijack the conversation. Just use your experience as a bridge to show you understand theirs. Let's add more phrases for finding common ground, especially around hobbies. You could ask, "So what do you like to do in your free time?" This is a very open and friendly question. Or, "Do you follow any sports?" This is a big one in many cultures. If you both like the same team, you have an instant connection. Even if you like rival teams, you can have a fun, friendly debate. Food is another universal topic. "Have you tried that new Thai restaurant downtown?" Or, "I'm looking for a good place to get pizza. Any recommendations?" Asking for a recommendation is a fantastic small talk strategy. It positions the other person as the expert, which makes them feel good, and it gives you a reason to continue the conversation later. You could say, "Thanks for the tip. I'll have to check it out. I'll let you know what I think." Now let's explore some scenarios and put all of these sentences together. Scenario 1. You are a new employee, and you are in the office kitchen making coffee. A colleague you don't know walks in. Let's map out a possible conversation. You could start with a simple greeting and a comment about the shared context. Hi, I'm Jessica. I just started on Monday. The colleague might say, Oh, welcome. I'm Mark. Nice to meet you. How's your first week going? You can answer honestly, but positively. It's going well, thanks. Everyone has been really friendly. I'm still trying to figure out this coffee machine, though. This little bit of vulnerability makes you seem more human and relatable. Mark might laugh and say, Ha ha ha, yeah, this machine has a mind of its own. Here, let me show you the trick. After he helps you, you can show gratitude and ask a follow-up question. Oh, thank you so much. That's a lifesaver. So what department do you work in, Mark? He tells you he's in marketing. You can then try to find common ground. Oh, marketing. I'll be working with your team on the new product launch. I'm really looking forward to it. Mark replies, That's great. We're excited about that launch. It's going to be a big one. Now you can see someone else is waiting for the coffee machine, so it's a good time to end the conversation gracefully. You use an exit line. Well, I should probably let you get your coffee. It was really nice to meet you, Mark. I'm sure I'll see you around. Mark says, You too, Jessica. Welcome aboard. Look at what we did there. We started with a greeting and introduction. We commented on the shared environment. We showed a little vulnerability. We asked an open-ended question. We found professional common ground. And we ended the conversation politely. That was a perfect small talk interaction. Scenario 2. You are at a neighbor's barbecue. You see someone standing alone. You can approach with a smile and a comment about the party. Hi there. This is a great barbecue, isn't it? The burgers smell amazing. The person will likely agree. Yeah, it is. I'm ready to eat. You can introduce yourself. I'm Jessica. I live just down the street. They introduce themselves. I'm Tom. I'm Sarah's brother, visiting for the weekend. Now you have information. You can ask a follow-up question. Oh, that's nice. Where are you visiting from? Tom says he's from Chicago. You can use the reciprocal sharing technique. Chicago. I've always wanted to visit. I've heard the architecture is incredible. Tom agrees and maybe tells you a little about his city. Then you ask him a question to keep it going. So, is this your first time visiting this area? He says yes. You can then offer a recommendation, positioning yourself as the helpful local. Well, if you have any free time, you should definitely check out the hiking trail by the lake. It's beautiful this time of year. He thanks you for the tip. You've had a nice chat. Now you want to mingle a bit more. You can use an exit line. Well, I'm going to go grab a drink. It was really nice talking to you, Tom. Enjoy the rest of the party. He says, You too. Again, we followed the formula. A friendly opener about the shared context, an introduction, an open-ended follow-up question, finding common ground or interest, and a polite exit. It's a pattern you can use in almost any situation. Let's talk about mindset for a moment, because your attitude towards small talk is just as important as the words you use. Stop thinking of it as a test. It's not. There is no pass or fail. The other person is probably just as nervous as you are. The goal is simply to be friendly and make a small connection. Lower the stakes in your mind. It doesn't have to be a long, amazing conversation. A 30-second positive interaction is a huge success. Also, be curious. The best conversationalists are genuinely curious about other people. When you ask someone, "How was your weekend?" Try to actually be curious about their weekend. Listen to their answer not so you can plan your next sentence, but so you can understand them. When you are truly curious, your follow-up questions will be natural and easy. And finally, don't be afraid of a little silence. Sometimes there will be a pause in the conversation. It's okay. You don't have to immediately fill it with words. You can just smile, take a sip of your drink, and look around. Sometimes the other person will jump in and start a new topic. A comfortable silence is much better than a panicked, awkward stream of words. Let's add even more phrases to our arsenal. Think about dealing with different times of the year. Around December, you can say, "Getting ready for the holidays?" Or, "Have you done all your holiday shopping yet?" In the summer, it's so hot today, isn't it? "I'm ready for the beach." Or, "Are you going anywhere fun for summer vacation?" Tying your small talk to the season makes it timely and relevant. What about when you join a conversation that is already happening? This can be tricky. The best way is to listen for a moment to understand the topic. Then, when there is a natural pause, you can add a relevant comment or question. For example, if they are talking about a new restaurant, you can wait for a pause and then say, "Excuse me for interrupting, but I heard you talking about the new Italian place. I was thinking of going there. Is it any good?" This shows you are listening and have a genuine interest. Let's also consider conversations with service staff, like a barista, a waiter, or a shop assistant. Keeping it short and friendly is key, and you can say, "Hi, how are you doing today?" When they are helping you, you can say, "Thank you so much, I really appreciate it." As you leave, a simple "Have a great day" can make their day a little brighter. If they have a cool name tag, you could even say, "That's a lovely name." It's a small thing, but these little moments of positive connection add up. Let's go over some more practice prompts. I'm going to give you a situation, and I want you to think of an opening line. Situation 1. You are in an elevator with your boss. It's just the two of you. What can you say? You could talk about the weather. Looks like it's going to be a sunny day. You could ask about the weekend if it's a Monday. Hope you had a good weekend. Keep it professional and brief. Situation 2. You are at the dog park. You see someone with a very cute dog. What can you say? This is an easy one. Compliment the dog. "Oh my goodness, your dog is adorable. What breed is he?" Dog owners almost always love to talk about their pets. Situation 3. You are waiting in a very long line at the post office. The person in front of you sighs. What can you say? You can share in the mild frustration. "The wait is pretty long today, isn't it?" This creates an instant bond. The more you practice, the more these phrases will become automatic. You won't have to think so hard. The goal is to build a mental library of these sentences so you can pull out the right one for any situation without stress. Let's do a quick-fire round of follow-up questions. I'll give you a statement. You think of an open-ended question. Statement 1. I just got back from a trip to Japan. Your question could be, "Wow, what was your favorite part of the trip?" Statement 2. I'm training for a marathon. Your question could be, "That's incredible. What does your training schedule look like?" Statement 3. My daughter just started kindergarten. Your question could be, "Oh, that's a big milestone. How is she liking it so far?" See the pattern? You are asking questions that invite a story, an explanation, or an opinion. You are showing that you heard what they said and you want to know more. This is the heart of engaging conversation. We have covered so much ground today. We've talked about why small talk is important. We've learned dozens of sentences for starting a conversation in different situations, at work, at parties, and in everyday life. We've practiced giving compliments, asking follow-up questions, and finding common ground. We've even learned how to end a conversation politely and confidently. The most important thing to take away from our time together is that small talk is a skill. It is not a personality trait you are born with. It is something you can learn and improve with practice, just like learning a musical instrument or a new language. At first, it might feel a little awkward. You might have to consciously think about which phrase to use, but over time, with practice, it will become second nature. You will start to feel more comfortable and confident in social situations. You will find it easier to connect with colleagues, meet new people, and build stronger relationships. So I challenge you to take one or two of the sentences we practiced today and try them out this week. Start small. Try making a comment about the weather to the cashier at the grocery store. Ask your colleague how their weekend was and really listen to the answer. The next time you're at a party, try to start a conversation with just one new person. Every little interaction is a chance to practice and build your confidence. Don't worry about being perfect. The goal is connection, not perfection. A friendly smile and a genuine interest in the other person will take you incredibly far. Thank you so much for joining me on English in Advance today. I hope you found this deep dive into the world of small talk helpful and empowering. It has been a pleasure being your guide. Remember to be patient with yourself, keep practicing, and have fun with it. If you enjoyed this session and want to continue improving your English with me, please make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next episode. And I would love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and tell me which of these small talk sentences is your favorite, or share a situation where you find small talk difficult. I read all of your comments and they help me create more content that is useful for you. Until next time, my name is Jessica. Keep learning, keep practicing, and keep advancing your English. Have a wonderful day.